Hey guys, this is Seth from DirectoryCitations.com and the Facebook group Heart of the Entrepreneur, and I'm coming to you today with some information on citations. What are they? How can they benefit your business? Where can you find them or create them? We're going to be talking about all of these things today, and also the differences between all of the different services out there. You'll find many companies purporting to offer citations. We're going to be doing some comparisons of those as well. But first, let's talk about what is a citation. So a citation is very simply your business information listed in an online directory. There are hundreds of these directories out there, over 500 in the USA alone, and if you have some kind of a business, whether it's online or brick and mortar, you probably have some of these citations without even knowing it. So if you have a Google page, a Facebook page, Twitter, any of these things, if you show up in a local phone book, those are all citations. So what makes it a citation? Very simply, if your business information is listed on the site. So we'll take Hot Frog. It's one of the very popular online directories, and I just picked a random business here, Bell Gardens Plumber. And what you can see here is the name of the business, Bell Gardens Plumber, the phone number, and the address are all listed on the site. And that's actually it. Those are the main three components: name, address, and phone number. Name, address, phone number. If it has all three of those things, it's a citation. Now, it can have other information as well, like the website or the email, maybe a description of the business. All of those things are bonus. But really, the main thing that it needs and the most important piece is the name, address, and phone number. Now, you can go to many directories and actually create these citations completely for free. It's pretty easy. It's just very time consuming. So most folks don't want to take the time to do it, but if you did, like let's use Hot Frog for example here, most of the time when you go to the website, you can kind of scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll see a button here that says create your free Hot Frog business profile, and then you just simply click add your business. You enter in a bunch of information, create a login, do the CAPTCHA, submit. They're going to send you an email verification. You reply to that to confirm that everything is correct, and then bada bing, bada boom, you have a citation. So that whole process, depending on how quickly you work, could take 5 minutes or 15 minutes, or some of these crazy directories could take like an hour if they really run you through the hoops. Now, why would you even want listings on all of these online directories? That's a good question that I often get asked, and the answer is twofold. So number one, people actually do use these directories, otherwise they wouldn't have any value. So for example, Hot Frog, people actually go to hotfrog.com, or they open the Hot Frog app on their phone and they search for local plumbers or roofers or what have you. So people are using the directories, and so you will get traffic to your local business simply by having a listing. But that alone and in and of itself will only bring in really a small amount of traffic. But what a citation actually does, what the main purpose that most digital marketers use them for, is that it's a well-established fact that having citations in powerful online directories that are commonly used will boost your ranking in the Google local maps section. So when I say that, I mean the section where people, for example, if we search for plumbers, Columbus, Ohio, or something, the map section is the section right below the ad. So in this section right here, this is a local search. If I wanted to show up here, like Eco Plumbers or Waterworks, I can. You better bet these guys have lots of citations. So anyway, that's how you do it. Now, citations alone are not a guaranteed strategy to start showing up in the maps. It's part of an overall digital marketing strategy, but it is one of the most important ways to boost your ranking in the map pack. Okay, so let's just keep going. There are many ways that you can get citations. One, the way we just discussed, is to create your own. That's obviously a relatively easy way. It's just very, very time consuming and very tedious. And if you have the time to do it and you have or a low budget, then I would definitely recommend just creating your own. However, from my personal experience, I know that doing these over and over and over again can get old really quickly. And if you start managing lots of clients, then it's better to find a solution that allows you to scale very quickly and easily. So let's look at some of the options that are out there to manage this for you so that you don't have to do it on your own. So the first one we're going to look at is Yext. Yext is a popular solution because it is very fast. Basically what Yext does is they have a software solution where they layer your information that you enter in on top of several online directories, and they're up to around 60 plus directories that they are now connected with. They do something called a live sync, and basically what happens is when you subscribe to Yext, you can connect to all of these online directories. Now I will say that Yext is a little bit tricky. They don't point this out right away when you sign up with them, but some of these listings are like they don't actually create the listing. They'll sync your data once you've already done the work, but you actually still have to create a Google listing, you still have to create a Facebook listing, you still have to create a Bing listing, but they will create listings on many of these sites for you. And one thing that we're going to talk a little bit more about later, which is nice about Yext, is they do hit one of the 4 data aggregators, which is factual. It's an important directory, and we'll talk about why that is. They only give you one of the 4, and then some of these directories that they control, like Telenav, I believe is one. Some of these others are actually they're apps. They're not online directories, and so you will get the benefit of showing up if someone actually does use that app on their phone, but you won't really get the rankings boost in the maps. There's about 10 of these that are actually just apps and not websites, but still you do get a lot. Now the price for Yext varies from depending on how many locations you sign up for with them, but you do have to sign up for an entire year. You do commit for a year, and they will not let you out of that contract. And it starts out at $50 per month per location. So at most, you'll be spending $600 per year to get one data aggregator and 60 or so actual citations. That is kind of expensive. Even if you have lots and lots of locations, the lowest I've ever seen it is like $35 a month. So you're still spending like $400 a year to get 60 or 70 citations and one aggregator. So even though they're well known and they do a decent job, they are very expensive for what you get. And my experience is that this really isn't enough. Just having Yext alone, you still probably are going to need to go out and get more citations, because these are not the 60 most powerful out there. Some of these are pretty powerful. We're going to look at a list later in order of the most powerful citations, but these are not all the most powerful. So they limit you to specifically these citations and no others. Okay, so what's the next option? I have one other live sync option that I've used all these options, by the way, personally, so I can tell you what my personal experience has been. So here's another signup.com. These guys kind of bill themselves specifically as Yext's main competitor. I don't know if they really are Yext's main competitor, but they're out there. Now they really have done a lot. If you Google search Yext, you'll probably see sign up pop up in the ads because they're really trying to compete with Yext. And what they do is they offer a discounted rate of only $30 per location. And actually, if you sign up with a lot of locations, it goes even further down. I mean, if you somehow manage to get up to 100 locations, drops down to $27 per location. Now, they don't actually have as extensive of a live sync as Yext does. I think right now they have like 45, so it's pretty close, but they're not quite up there with Yext, like 60 or so. One nice thing about sign up, though, is if you do their managed service here at $30 a location or so, you do have to sign up, by the way. You have to pay for a whole year at a time. So you're paying, again, like $360 for 45 or so citations. But they do give you the option to purchase additional citations, which they go out and manually create for $1.50 a citation. So that's not too bad, $1.50. I have used these guys to manage one location, and they did do a good job. It took about a month to create all the citations, and they were all accurate, and their live chat support is pretty solid. So if you really wanted the live sync and you were looking for a lower cost option, even though you don't get as many, this is something you could consider. Now, there are other services out there which do completely manual citation creation, which many argue is really the best option because then you own the citation. So even though you pay for it once, you never have to pay for it again. And one of the most well-known of those options is a company called WhiteSpark. Now, WhiteSpark will create citations for you for $4 each, or they have some that are very specific to your industry, like plumbing or towing or whatever, and they do those for a little bit more. It's $5 each. Now, for this price of $4 each, let's say you order 100 citations, you're looking at $400. So right away, this actually is a cheaper option than Yext or even Signup. So $400 for a whole year would get you, it's not really yearly, it's one time ever, and you would get 100 citations versus Yext, which would, for $500 or so per year, only gives you 60 or 70. So even though the price per citation is rather high, we'll see some other options here in a moment, this actually is cheaper. Most people think of Yext as being cheaper because you pay it monthly, but WhiteSpark actually ends up being cheaper when you think of it in that way. Okay, but there are other options. These guys are one of the most well-known, but they also are one of the most expensive. So another option out there is a company called Bright Local. I actually like Bright Local for I love their citation scanning tool compared to WhiteSpark. I think it actually picks up more citations. So I actually have a membership to Bright Local purely for the citation scanning. You might want to check it out. It's like I pay like $65 a month, and I can scan for citations with that. But for their manual submissions, they say it's $2 a site. It's actually $3 unless you buy like 500 minimum citations, and it drops down to $2 per site. But $2 to $3, even $3 is less than WhiteSpark. And again, they do a good job. It's pretty reliable. Both WhiteSpark and Bright Local take about a month to get you your citations, but they do a pretty good job, and I think it's worth checking out as a good low price option. If I was debating between the two, I'd probably go with Bright Local simply because it's a little bit cheaper, and they do a good job. So why not? But there are other options, so we got to look at everything before we make a decision. So another option out there is Upwork. You could actually just jump on here and you could find a freelancer to build you citations. So type in citations or directory listings. That's another common term for citations, and you can find all kinds of folks that will do this for you. Anywhere from like $45 an hour, $60 an hour, $55 an hour. These guys are a little on the high side. We just talked about how some citations might take 15 minutes to an hour. So for that $55, $60, you might be getting 4 citations. It's hard to tell. But there are some really cheap folks in here, like $5 an hour, from other countries, and you can experiment around and see what kind of results you get by hiring a freelancer. But if you want to try to get your price down, look overseas and see if you can find someone. The good news with Upwork is that you completely control your budget. The bad news is that you don't really have much control over the quality until you find the right person. So this is a great site to find a virtual assistant for any digital marketing need. But the quality really varies, and you're just going to have to do a lot of trial and error to find the right person. So it's worth checking out if you are looking to expand your staff and get into maybe a long-term relationship, and you don't mind spending a little extra up front to experiment around and try to find the right person. One mistake that I do see people make a lot, though, is they will always go for the cheapest option out there, and the cheapest does not always translate to the best option. And we're going to see that in just a moment. So another option that you could go with, for example, is to jump on Fiverr. Now, I actually do like to use Fiverr for some services like logo design or animated logos, things like that. For example, you get a logo made for $5. Maybe you can't beat that. One of the drawbacks, though, and actually you see this with logos sometimes too, is you get a logo that's an exact copy of someone else's logo. It's not so good. Same thing though with citations. So, like this guy or woman, I don't know which, but they claim to do 50 citations for $5. 10 cents a citation. For 10 cents a citation, is that right? 10 cents. You can't expect very good quality. They're either rushing it or it's from who knows where. I just I would really hesitate to order. I've seen too many people get burned by going out on a website like Fiverr and spending not very much money and then really regretting it later by having to do a lot of cleanup work. So, if you find someone on Fiverr that actually does a good job that you really trust, maybe, I don't know, it's at your own risk. But I definitely, if you go this route, I would only do it on a site that you don't really care about that much first before you were to ever use this like on a client site. Just me talking there. Okay, there's another site out there called Local Citation Services, which I've heard people mention before. Their citations, and this is another one that they are super cheap, like crazy cheap. So like, for example, for $5, they do 15 citations. That's 30 cents a citation or something. You can get $60 for 240 citations. I mean, this seems crazy low to me. If you look at their reviews, I think this is really funny. They have all these reviews posted down here below, and what you'll notice, these are actually Fiverr reviews. So like if you go, like if you were to compare this, these are old reviews from Fiverr. See, this isn't a real, you can't actually sort, but they just did a screen grab of their own reviews. So if you were going to order from these folks, I would try to find them on Fiverr. It's probably cheaper to order from them on there, but I don't know. Again, it's probably the same kind of quality. I don't know for sure. You'd have to try it out, but I do know that they are an overseas company, and so there might be some language barrier issues or things like that. But but it's another company to consider if you're looking for the absolute cheapest solution, and you're willing to give it a try for a couple of your sites first. It might give it a try. Okay, so far we've looked at a lot of manual options, and we looked at the live sync options. There is another option out there, which is to go just straight for the aggregators. So Moz Local is a company that submits just to the data aggregators. And this actually is a really important service. We used to offer this through our site, but honestly, we just bought in bulk from Moz, so we were just upcharging just a little bit and then doing it. But we figured we might as well just send you straight to the source. These guys know aggregators. They do a great job. What are the aggregators? There are four important directories: the Info Group, Newstar Localese, Axiom, and Factual. These four here that you can't really go out and manually create listings on those four directories. You can only get them when you work through a company like Moz, and they are basically, you can think of them as like data storehouses. The advantage of the aggregators is they are very powerful, and they do pump out to many other directories, but it's not like you sign up for the aggregators and then you instantly have a whole bunch of other citations, and they're also very, very slow. Submitting to the aggregators can take, in some cases, up to like 6 months before everything gets fully approved. So this is definitely not a standalone strategy, but I do recommend signing up for the aggregators as part of an overall citation strategy if you have the money to do it. I don't think it's critical, but it definitely is a good support. So check it out, moz.com/local. They're really the best place to get the aggregators, and it's $84, and I'll do all four of the aggregators, so not bad. Okay, so we've looked at a bunch of different options here. Now let's take a look at our option in-house, directorycitations.com, so you can see what that looks like and what some of the differences are. So one thing that's pretty cool with our site, Directory Citations, is that we actually have live chat. You'll see it down here if you go to the site, available, so that you can hop on anytime that we're online, which we try to be online during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, and you can just hop on anytime and ask a question. We also have live phone support, and you can also, of course, shoot an email anytime. So lots of great support. And what we do is we do the manual method, so we go out and we list your business information on any directories that you choose, or straight from our master list of citations. So over the past 2 years, we've been compiling a list of the most powerful, most important citations that are out there. We've listed them in order. This list is actually publicly available. We'll give you a copy for free if you want to check it out. And you can see exactly where we list your information. We start with the most powerful and work our way down. So if you take a look over here, what you'll see is for the data aggregators, we put them right in here. We recommend Moz Local for those. Yext does the one. And then we look in this column over here, you can see the domain authority. This is actually a ranking by Moz of how powerful these citations are. If again, for we call these the big four: Google, Bing, Facebook, Yahoo. These are really four very powerful citations. You can see most of them have a domain authority of 100, but you have to really manually create all of these. Even Yahoo, this is the one that Yext does out of the list, but you really have to manually create most of these listings, and you should, so you have the most control over them. And then as you scroll down the list here, you'll see we did a side-by-side comparison of Yext versus directory citations, just so you could see the difference. And what you'll see here is Yext completes quite a few, and any that have this red X, these are directories that we do not have the ability to submit to. So there's maybe like 10 there that we can't submit to. But if you continue to scroll down, you'll see all of the directories that we can submit to that Yext does not have the ability to submit to. So Hotfrog, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter, bbb.org, SlideShare. I mean, there's a billion of these. Well, not really a billion. There's like 500. And you can see ranked from most to least powerful. You can check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, like 20 listings with a domain authority of 90 or above. These are really powerful citations that you cannot get through Yext, but you can get through directory citation. So again, we just start at the top and we work our way down. So if you were to order, say, 100 citations, we would do the top 100 for you. If you order 200, we do the top 200, unless you want something special. And if you do, that's totally fine. You just say, hey guys, I'd like to order, these. Can you include these 10 directories? And then we'll do it for you. We are all about flexibility and listening to you and giving you, the best service that we can. Some other cool things about directory citations is that we do, offer some really, really good price points, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. So if you jump in to place an order, you'll see that we start off with the lower order, starting off at just $1.50 a citation. So we're already cheaper than any other place out there, any other well-known citation company. So even Bright Local at $2 a citation, we come in below them at just $1.50. And then we give you a price break as you order more citations, because the more citations you order, the easier it is on us. I'm not just trying to get you to spend more money, although of course, that is a natural effect. But if you can imagine, we're copying and pasting the same information over and over and over again on a bunch of directories. We get into a rhythm. It's just easier to do that over and over again when we're doing, say, 300 citations than doing 5 different orders of 60 citations each, where we have to collect all that information, verify it again, go through that whole process. So we give you a price break. And it actually gets all the way down to just 97 cents a citation if you order a bunch for the same business. Now, a lot of folks ask me, like, how many citations should I order? And I would just say, like, if you really want to dominate the maps results, just do them all. Just do somewhere in the neighborhood of the 240 to 360. But you can also just order a few at a time. It's no big deal. Just keep in mind, the less you order, the longer it's going to take, because you're probably going to have to order more to be able to beat your competition. But there are some really low-hanging fruit niches out there where you might only need just a few. But one thing to keep in mind is that you are competing against all of the other people in the maps, not just on their citation count. You're also competing against how old their site is and other factors that you really have no control over if you just launched your site. And so by really stomping your opponents into the ground on citations, that makes your job easier in some of the other categories. So I personally like to just go above and beyond and just order like 300 or 360 for all of my own sites. But if you want to start with less and work your way up, you are more than welcome to do it, and we still have very competitive pricing. You can see exactly what you're paying per citation for each of these. We do also offer a citation scan option. It's just $10, and basically what we do is we go out and we actually just use Bright Local scanning tool to create this citation scan. But if you don't want to pay the $65 a month, you just need like a scan every now and then, this might be a cheaper way to do it. You're just paying for our labor of going out, entering in all of your information, waiting for the report, and then sending it back to you. But here's a link if you just want to go sign up for your own account with Bright Local and get their citation scan. We're totally happy to send you over there to do that too. So we're not here just to take all your money. We're here to really provide an excellent service and then send you really high quality citations. We really know what we're doing, and I think that you'll be really, really pleased. We have a great frequently asked questions section in here where you can learn even more about citations, what they are, and how our order process works, and all of that. I would love to have a conversation with you if you ever want to just jump on and do the live chat. And if you're curious as to what the citations actually look like when they're done, when we're completed, we've done all of your citations, we actually send you a full report of everything that we did, and you'll see here's an example of what that looks like. Recently completed citations for this Faith Center of Atlanta, and you can see we list all of the directories that we created your citations for. If they are already live, ready to go, we'll actually give you a live link so you can click it and then go to that link. Let's just take a look at that. Okay, so here you go, Hot Frog. There's the live listing for Faith Center of Atlanta, all their information listed. Or if we go to issue, there it is again, Faith Center of Atlanta. Stick a picture in there if we can. Description of the business, it's all in there. And if we don't have a live listing yet, like if they have not yet accepted the listing, which does happen, a lot of times it takes a month or so, 2 weeks, 3-4 weeks before they approve the listing, even if we've done all the right steps. So what we do in those cases is we send you just a screen grab so you can see that we actually did the work. It's going to take a second to load. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. So you can see we went to MapQuest. We entered in all the information and we submitted it. We just send that to you so you can see, yes, we actually did the work. Yes, we actually entered in all the correct information. And then as soon as that's live, you'll be able to go to mapquest.com and just search for the business and you'll see the live listing. And then you'll also notice on here, not only do we give you the live URLs and the screenshots, but we also give you the username and password and the email address that we created just to create that listing. We do create a special email that is different from your business email address just to create the listing. Some people get worried by that. Don't. It's purely for your benefit. Trust me, you don't want to have to answer, like 300 of these verification emails. And what we do when we're done is after we've created the listing, we go in and change all of the emails back to your business email. So it's not anything to worry about. Sometimes you'll still get a verification on your business email, and if you do, feel free to click it to verify. You don't have to, but if you do, if some of them sneak through, that's just a way to make absolutely sure that those listings get verified, and you'll have to do that regardless of whoever does your citations. So last question before I let you go for this evening is a citation a citation? And the answer is, in a way, yes. I mean, if you have a listing on Hot Frog, it doesn't matter if I created that listing or if you created that listing or if somebody in Sweden created that listing. It doesn't really matter as long as it's there and it's correct. So as long as you have, your name, your address, your phone number, the website, as long as that's all on your citation and it's correct, that's what's really important. What often happens when you order from unreliable sites, or if you're just trying to go with the absolute cheapest option out there, is you'll have a listing, but you'll find that there are errors, or that some of the work actually never gets done, or those are the kinds of issues that you might have. When you use directorycitations.com or Bright Local or a reliable source like that, you know that it's done and that it's done right. That's really what's important, and that you have some good support after the fact. Are you able to go back and edit the citations? Now at directorycitations.com, we do one thing where that's different as far as I know from pretty much any other citation company out there. And what that is that we actually boost all of your citations. And what that means, a boosted citation, is we take your listing here, so say your Hot Frog listing, and you can see this URL that appears up here. We actually boost this URL by sending links directly to this URL. So we actually create links to this listing, and what that does is it helps the listing get indexed even faster than normal. So our citations do typically get indexed very quickly, and it also, I believe, gives a little extra oomph or a little extra power to that citation. So if you can imagine, links pointing to your site help rank your site, and these citations all do link to your site. So these are links pointing to links that point to your site, and makes those links a little bit more powerful. And so all other things being equal, let's say you had 100 citations from directorycitations.com and 100 citations from another company. I think the 100 from Directory Citations is probably going to be a little bit stronger because we took the extra step of building links to those citations. So you can take all of this with a grain of salt tonight, but hopefully everything I've said has opened your eyes a little bit to all the citation solutions that are out there. I mean, of course, I own a citation company, and I do believe that we offer the best option out there. We are definitely not the cheapest option out there, but I don't think that's always the best option anyway. I think if you find a company that you like, that you trust, that they're reliable, that they deliver quickly. We have a 14-day guarantee, for example, on our citation turnaround time, so you know that you're going to get your citations back within 2 weeks. But if you find someone that's fast, that's reliable, that's affordable, and that you just like working with and that you trust, then I would suggest that you go with them, whoever that is. I hope that you give us a try here at directorycitations.com. But whatever you do, I wish you success in your online marketing journey, and I appreciate you being a viewer and hopefully a future customer, and I look forward to working with you and speaking with you again soon. Have a great evening or morning, depending on when you watch this. Seth signing out.